Oh, we can talk. Shit, yeah. I thought, well, I'm sorry. I'm used to the fucking recordings where it's like, shh, very quiet while hunting rabbits.
I have to do that one more time because it defaults to a mute. So to my left is that wonderful hate monger. Not a hate monger, but she's got an edge on her. And you know her as the conscience of Lagging Out, Blacklight Oni.
If I'm the conscience, we are thoroughly fucked.
I hope that she's coming in. Can everybody hear her in the Twitch stream? If you can press 1, if you can hear Blacklight Oni, and to make sure that you guys actually exist. Make sure you guys should be able to hear her. Hopefully. Fantastic. Thank you, Soda. And to my right is a very interesting guy. Slightly agoraphobic. Little camera shy, which is why he's now a 3D character. Ironically, please welcome Soda.
Oh, I'm waving at everybody.
Are you waving?
It's a little laggy. Sorry.
well, appropriately enough. And this, why are we doing this on a Friday, Oni? What was the reasoning?
Because fuck it. Okay, no.
Go ahead.
For actuality's sake, we wanted to not only test out a live show on Friday nights, or, whatever time of day it is for you, but also because certain things don't really fit the schedule of when we update. And so for those special topics, special as... I'm actually going to stop right there before we get demonetized.
Demonetized from decided, what? Making any money? We don't do that anyway.
Right? Well, let me just take away that money you already don't make. For certain topics, we decided to just kind of make it an almost open forum, and it might free up some folks' schedules, in case some of you like to, I don't know, like whack off on it. I don't know.
What?
It's your life. It's, 2021.
You can't say the S word, but you can say whack off. I never even heard you say whack off before. That's the weirdest.
I was making sure that's what I heard. I was like, is that right? Yeah. I'm going to say, I cut that to one time a week.
Off, but...
And when you hit 40, you got to cut that down.
Oh, look at you. I got to move you over. Oh, my God. All right.
Woo.
But
look at
in
that. The news.
Live fixes on here. Go ahead. Go ahead, keep talking.
In the news. So I'm sure, if any of you listen to the radio.
What's that?
Or you, I know, right? You listen to the news, I don't know, some
radio.
Shit.
What?
You probably heard that a copy of, I think it was Super Nintendo, or not Super Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers 2 sold for, in excess of $1 million American.
$1 million?
That's, that's a lot of money. And, so some of our game hoarders are probably going, shh, your day will come, my precious. And I'm just like, okay, that's, of course my parents are just going, what the fuck is going on with the hobbyists? I'm like, hey, we gotta have something.
Why? Wait,
package.
Back up a little bit. Super Mario 2 sold for what? Why?
Well, that's where the rabbit hole goes down. So,
okay.
Obviously, certain things will affect the value of an item. So, for example, the wear and tear on it, or if it's still in the package, the rarity of that item, how many years have passed. That is the plus side of hobbies, like what we have, is that some of them appreciate value. Unlike the vehicle that you drive, as soon as you roll that bitch off the lot, you lost like 3/4 of the value already. Sorry.
Well, and that's just the taxes, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, those monetary values placed on items don't just kind of, show up randomly. It's not just pull a rabbit out of a hat. To an extent, there is a method to the madness. Don't look at me like I know what I'm doing. I'm just going on what I know.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
But there are organizations, associations, people who do this a lot who can verify and guesstimate the value of something. Now remember, just because something is said to be a certain price doesn't mean that's what it will actually make. Money doesn't mean shit if you don't sell it. If there's no buyer, you haven't made this sale. It doesn't matter how much it's worth.
So what you're saying is this video. Go ahead. I'll let you explain it.
Sorry. So you know, if you have a video game and it's unopened in the package, let's say it's $200,000 is what an auctioneer someone has said. It just means that much interest. Era, back when you had to hit channel 3 for your video games and had to hook up all your connections with your fingies.
Oh, those were the good old days.
Yeah, with your chunky ass TV that probably weighs half as much as you do.
Yeah.
You know, those games, for starters, if you can find them, good on you. But second of all, if they are in the package unopened, you could very well be sitting on a gold mine, kind of like those old Disney VHS tapes. You know,
the
where it's like,
clamshells.
oh, they could be worth this much, but again,
yeah, you would know about that, Soda, right? That's what
money. They're like, okay, here's $100,000 Pokemon cards. You buy it on eBay, so somebody thinks they paid $100,000, but they never actually paid the person. You know, the same way with video games. Like, and say, hey, well, this sold at $2 million. It never did, but somebody's gonna see that somewhere on the internet and be like, oh, that's worth $2 million, and then all those copies just shot up, you know, in value. So that's why I find this very interesting.
So this is kind of foreign to me. So it kind of relates over, like, let's say Pokemon cards or something that has some sort of value. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
So
Yep.
So it happens there. So if you have a mint condition Super Mario 2 with the sleeve, instruction manual, like in the plastic, whatever,
Right.
It's worth money. So I have a question for you guys. When the PlayStation 5 came out and the new Xbox consoles came out, is that the same thing? Because you can't get like the high-end Xbox, the big black cube, like tower one. What's that called? The Series X? Is that what it's called? Yeah. Is that artificial? So what they're doing is they're artificially inflating the market so they can maximize their revenue. Is that correct? Am I getting that right?
Well, it's a little different because everything new is new. It's more of supply and demand, and you know, like you can't get them unless you buy them on eBay or, you know, Amazon, and that's not really a collector's item. It's just you can't get the item. So.
But it's fucking ridiculous, though. It's like,
well, yeah,
the new PlayStation 5 and the new Xboxes have been out how long? Since November, right? It's now August. So what is that? If I'm bad at math, is that 10 months?
It's like a 3080. You know, you can't get 3080s. And
yeah, well, yeah, they are.
What they're worth. Yeah.
They're a giant waste of money. Like unless you're working on a video game, or
the collector's items, like,
or you're data mining or something.
But there's still a lot of those out there. You're not going to see a ton of Super Mario Brothers in the original packaging.
Right.
Doing. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a copy of just a plain copy outside of Super Mario Brothers? Like,
I have actually, you know what? I have probably seen, because Zombie Killer had one. She has was the previous host, just so you know, Soda.
okay.
It wasn't the Robbie system, but it was the NES with the gun and the gray console, 2 controllers, and Mario Brothers in it with the Duck Hunt split, which is how it came. I assume that's how all of them came.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But she has it in the plastic in a box. So if that Super Mario Brothers 2 mint is that much money, how much is that? Does that, by that rationale, since there's more stuff in the original package, would that be more?
That's one of those hard things. Again, who wants it and why do they want it? You know, more people collect games than consoles, so
right. Oni says yes. So what do you think, Oni?
I mean, I would love to have
Oh,
it, but I'm not
yeah.
paying $1 million for it.
Right, I ain't fucking paying for it. All right, I'll buy an emulator.
Yeah, exactly. There could be a market. Again,
I mean, yeah, you could always
these
see
markets
on eBay.
are those. Yeah, I mean, if you want to take your shot, like, okay, this is gonna be so fucking stupid, but I'm gonna do it. So, do you remember when the first Avengers movie came out to theaters 8 years ago or so?
Was it 8 years ago?
Let's connect. The original Avengers movie, yeah, somewhere around 8 or so years ago.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just for the sake of argument, let's just say yes. I do remember. I do remember.
Just follow me here.
I don't remember. I don't remember last time I had for lunch.
Oni has lost her fucking mind. So here we go.
This is why we're doing the live, so that way you have no filter. We don't have to edit anything down.
Do you remember when Dr. Pepper, with the Avengers release, had the Dr. Pepper cans with the characters on them?
Yes. Okay.
Guess who still has an unopened Hulk can just for shits and giggles? I do. I want to see just how much money I can auction that bitch off on eBay in a couple of years, okay? Why? Because if other people can make money off stupid shit, I'm gonna do it too.
Oh my god.
I hate myself so much.
Well, see, here's the problem too. When you come up talking about earlier, when you come to graded stuff, though, it's not hard to pay the graders off. Like, this happens in the card industry all the time. You can pay, I'm not gonna name any names, but one of the big grading companies to have a guy come to your store, grade your card. You slip that guy, a couple $1,000. He's gonna give you all perfect grades, even though they're not perfect cards. It's messed up, but it's how it works. People get paid off, and that's kind of how I'm assuming Super Mario worked here. Or these guys are in cahoots, as you would call it.
Is it just Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, what it seems like on here.
Oh, some of the original Atari games are worth fortune, especially the ones that are really low printed. I'd have to look them up, but yeah, video games are worth a ton of money.
Wow. I'm not sure if you remember.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Sorry. So the two companies involved with this scandal, I'm going to call it a scandal because it's not great, certainly not good, is Heritage Association and a company called Wata, not to be confused with Wawa.
What did you say?
Wata. Anyways.
Yeah, Wata is one of the top video game creators in the industry right now.
Yes. Well, as it turns out, there was a gentleman who owned Wata, and only recently left them, and they worked closely together. Wata and Heritage work closely together, just, because it happens. It's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But what they're saying is Jim Halperin may have been basically double dipping from Wata to Heritage, because the timeline looks a little sus. And the fact that he was owning Wata and still helping out with Heritage doesn't look great. Doesn't paint a very good picture. Now, the thing I find absolutely ridiculous, I understand the purpose of a public relations group. I get it. Some people should not be speaking on behalf of a company or speaking at all, but that's only because some of us say stupid shit. Apparently, according to Mr. Jobst, the guy who brought these allegations out, he contacted Heritage and Wata to go, hey, do you have a comment on this? I'm going to make a video. I'd love to hear your side. And according to him, they never responded. And apparently, he has released receipts to those. Wata and Heritage both said, well, it would have been nice if he had reached out before saying any of these things, because they're, quite frankly, allegations of a defamatory nature, and are just based on false
Speculation.
information. Yeah, and I'm just like, the point of an investigation isn't to show your hand immediately.
Right.
It's to go checkmate.
If you're not in our industry or you're not a gamer, you're never gonna hear about this stuff. Like,
Touche.
kind of like
We
this
are
guy,
lonely.
like this guy, like if you went to my brother who's not a gamer, even though he would know what Super Mario was, he'd probably say like you, like what the fuck did somebody spend that kind of money on a video game we threw at each other when we were kids?
Right. Well,
Like,
it's the money is going towards people our age, Soda, the Gen Xers.
yeah.
And contrary to popular belief, I am a Gen Xer. I am actually fully gray. This like little Vulcan, like Doc Mr. Spock haircut I have going on here. That's all fake. But my hair is fake. My hair dye is fake. My hair is real. It's amazing. It's beautiful head of hair. It's all mine. But it's those people. We have fuck you money now. Well, some of us do, not me, but
Well, yeah.
but they have like money to throw around. So they're like, oh, I want to rekindle my childhood. The play hard, work hard generation, which is known as Gen X. They're like, yeah, if there's a market, I'm going to get it. And they artificially inflate the market. This could also be, correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of sounds like insider trading is what Oni was kind of hinting around to. So they're like artificially inflating the price of a product, in this case a video game, to maximize profit. Technically illegally.
Well,
allegedly,
well,
right? We
that
have to
too,
say
because-
allegedly.
it's like I said, if we're talking about this game just sold, now they're going to run out and buy all those games and sell them close to what they just sold them for, and they're going to be killing. So,
Vinny has a question.
Hey, Vinny.
We talked about the inflation. Oh, we talking about the inflation of games? No, we're talking about the artificial inflation of retro games. So if you're new to the conversation, that's what we're talking about, and what Oni was talking about. She's screen left, and that's what she is talking about there. So they're basically inflating the price of a game to maximize their profit. That's what we're talking about, Vinny.
right, yeah. Basically, maybe not falsely grading it above what it should be,
Yeah.
but like grading the perfect 10 on a card that's not a 10, or in this case, it's a video game. And then saying it's worth millions of dollars, so now everybody's going to run out and sell their copy. And say they sold it for $2 million, and it is, somebody paid $2 million. Now they offer you $1 million. You're going to be like, here, take it. I don't want it. You know what I mean? Because you're a millionaire now. And they just doubled their money. Give me my money.
Vinny, another question. You all watched a scam alert video by by Jobst. I think Oni mentioned this. He does a deep dive into the auction house and grading houses and their building and how they're building a bubble. I think you kind of is that the name that you used? Is that the ones you mentioned, Oni?
I'm a heathen. Yeah, it's Carl. His first name's Carl. If its first name's Carl, then that's the main source. I'm citing
he's got the
written articles about it though, because I'm a fucking heathen.
No, it's fine. Thank you for the link there, Vinny. Vinny is one of our former students.
Oh hey.
Yeah, he's also
one of our good ones.
Yeah, one of the good ones. One of the many good ones. And Oni, you might like this. If I'm allowed to reveal this, Vinny, but he was in the military. So thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers.
Yeah. So
how we made it through, I don't know, but I'm just kidding, Vinny.
We have a Marine on this. We have a Marine right here. Oni was a former Marine.
Oh,
you're
nice.
never a former Marine, right? What's that?
No, not unless you really done fucked up. But then most of us probably want you dead. So.
That too.
Right.
Thank all of our military. I couldn't do it. They tried
No,
to get me to go
they
with
got
their computers. Of course, 5 years ago was a lot different than it is now.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that. It's such a bad the stuff in the news right now is bad. But thank you for your
It's
service,
horrible,
Vinny, and
yeah.
thank you for your service, Oni. But yeah, that's thank you for providing the
Of
link,
course.
Vinny. Appreciate it.
Vinny's the bomb.
Yeah, Vinny would always give us these challenging questions as professors. So, full disclosure, we're all professors at a college. We're not telling you what college specifically, but
I'm not a professor.
no,
I graduated.
you
I'm
graduated.
looking for a job.
Looking for a job. Well, once we get our studio up, Oni's going to be moving down here, and hopefully Soda will be working with us as well. But we're looking, so all donations, and we don't ask for donations, but I demand them. Just kidding.
Give me the money.
But what we're doing is we're actually saving for a brick and mortar studio. So Laggin Out will have actually a full production movie and video game studio in Central Florida. So we do this mainly for fun. So but we are looking for angel investors for that sort of thing. So if you know anybody that's interested in investing in some senior talent people that work for Disney, and
throw the money.
Yeah. We'll put you on the Wall of Fame, and we'll actually add that to a Patreon account. We'll have a Wall of Fame for donations, and we put you on the wall on the waiting room in the studio or somewhere cool that we can post it. So that sort of thing. But we mainly just do this just to get all the news out there because Oni said I wanted to talk about this. And we don't have time to edit it and spit it out, so let's do it. And I said, let's do a podcast. And Oni was so nice to dono her time on a Friday because she's a party animal.
Topic. Like this is a great topic.
This is a great topic, and it I'm sure this has happened before with other games. I'm sure this has happened with cards too, like the overinflate Pokemon cards. And I know Oni is like her and her sister I think are heavily into that genre more than I am, and you do that for a living, so. Coins, cards, games. Yes, exactly, Vinny. So everything, essentially. So
anything that can be graded can be manipulated. That's just how it works. So. They had a card. In fact, the card is only a 2018. It was a 101 Luka Doncic. If you're a basketball fan, sold for $4 million. $4 million for a piece of cardboard. That's insane. And it's only 3 years old.
You see that question? Any chance the Atari ET game copies are worth anything? Yes!
I played that game hundreds of hours when I was a kid. I love that game. I actually still have it.
Actually. Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
Is Frisky Dingo one of our students, or is he a standalone? Do we know you, Frisky? Because I know I've seen that name before.
I don't know.
I don't know if I've seen it in a Discord or I've seen it before or it's familiar to me. I'll have to wait until there's a delay. So
well, it's 75, so he must be my age.
Yeah, a year older than me.
But ET was way ahead of its time. It was an RPG that was just horrible when you look at it now. But when I played it, it was just like the greatest thing ever.
Great. Maybe you can explain to me what was the premise of that fucking game? Because I played it. I played it on the Intellivision and I played it on the Atari. I think I had it. I had it on the Intellivision that Activision made in the 70s. I had it on
ET home. I mean, you're just trying to get ET home.
But you fall into these little things, and then you have to hit a button and he floats up magically out of these little pits. I don't understand. I never understood that game. Yes, Oni. You have your hand up. Question?
I
it's
know
Monday
the story
night.
behind this. I know the story behind this monstrosity.
Okay.
So I used to watch a lot of WatchMojo.com, and they had an episode. #1 spot for worst video games, of course, was E.T. What had happened was E.T. the movie had just been released, and the developers basically wanted a game for the Christmas season. What they didn't fucking do was allot any time. So the programmer had essentially 6 weeks to make this fucking thing. And it sold so poorly, allegedly, and legend has it, that it a lot of these unsold copies, thousands of copies, are in a New Mexico landfill.
Oh,
I think it was
Wow.
confirmed, but don't quote me on it. It was tragic.
maybe I was just a super nerd.
Oh, you know who Frisky Dingo is? It's
Who is
fucking
Frisky?
Keith. It's
You
the editor.
suck.
I was like, I know that name. I know Frisky Dingo. I know where that's from. It's 100% true. About 5 years ago, they dug them up. Ben Heck has
Holy
a great
shit.
video on it.
That's
And why are my
insane.
bots not working? What the fuck? None of the bots are working.
They're borked.
Gay! But yeah, uh-oh. I think Oni's playing Tetris over there.
Like, my screen looks like shit.
You're lagging and you know it.
Hey,
I mean-
should I just you want me to just cut out my video and leave it as my icon, or do you want to try to slosh through my
No, this
horrendous
is funny.
pixelated visage?
Leave
Okay,
it. Leave it. It's great.
As long as someone's getting some sort of joy out of it.
Stupid monitor.
I just looked up the value of Super Mario's like box package. It's about $30,000. So
What?
yeah.
Ha! Someone fucking overpaid.
Just because I thought
Talk
the
about buyer's
Nintendo
remorse.
World Champion was the most expensive video game cartridge out there because there's only a handful and they're about $100,000. So.
You know what I want to do, Soda? I want to play some retro games. I want to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out because I've never beaten it, and I want to
Hey,
play
I
it on
have an
stream.
autograph picture of Mike Tyson Punch Out with Mike Tyson autograph.
You can't beat me. You can go 3 rounds. You can't beat me.
I played that game so much. Like I still can
It's
tell you the
ridiculous.
code. I can tell you the code to Mike Tyson right off the top of my head.
It's like 0073.
7373. Yeah.
Oh my god! I don't read that. Oh my god! I don't read. I'm so happy I got the first 3 numbers right.
Yeah, you did. That's how much I played that damn game. I can't believe. See, all these retro games come out, and all these kids like, you gotta play this. And I look at them like, that's like, something from Nintendo. I grew up with that shit. I don't want to play it. I want badass, blow me away games. I don't want pixel games. Maybe it's just I grew up in that era, and like, I don't know.
I want to play it just to beat it. And here's another thing: I've never beat The Legend of Zelda on NES. Never beat it.
I can't talk to you anymore then.
I had the Nintendo Power magazine, and it, like inside the Nintendo Power magazine, they had a map,
Yep,
and
I had
the
that one.
map was no joke. It was like this fucking big. So
Yeah,
it was.
yeah, I remember.
It was huge. It was amazing. It was the biggest map you ever seen, and it just had the surface level. It didn't have underneath. But I couldn't. I was like looking like I'm like I went to every one of these things, and I can never get to the end. And it's
I'm
just
ashamed. I'm ashamed of you.
I just got frustrated. I'm sitting there playing, and that was the only video game that was gold and had a battery pack in it, so it saved
Yep.
your progress.
Yeah, well,
Which-
here's a story about that. You can ask my brother. I whooped his ass because he deleted my save file.
Oh.
But, yeah. We still talk about it now. I'm like, remember that time I beat
Yes.
your
And your
ass?
brother survived?
Luckily, I mean, at that time when you deleted, that was gone. There was no getting it back, backing up, save file. It was gone. All that work was gone.
Yeah. It's like usually when you had
Oh,
games like that, you had to
that's-
start from the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
So that was the only game that actually had that. And another cool thing that I read the other day is with the not Mike Tyson's Punch Out, the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt split. This is something interesting. That's actually a 2-player game. You could put the other controller in and control the ducks.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
But I didn't
Did-
like to share with my brothers as a kid.
Oh, neither did I. Like we would play Super Mario in the basement, and
Yep.
we had one of those tube televisions that had a tempered glass in the middle, and then the tube,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
the tube in it. He would get so mad. He would take the controller and throw it at the glass, and I'm just like, he'd go run up the stairs and say no. And like
My nana,
and then we had dart fights with
My-
darts, throwing darts at each other.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Lawn dart.
No, like real darts. But go ahead, honey.
So, my dad's mom gifted my sister and I some Nintendo games. She said they were Switch games. Oh no.
Oh no.
She gifted
Oh
us.
no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh
Good.
no,
Good.
no,
Oh
no,
no.
no.
She gifted us that Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt game. She gifted us Dr. Mario. I think the original Tetris. I think it was Tetris 2 or Tetris Worlds. Couple other games in there. She had no idea what goldmine she was sitting on when she sent that to me. Now, unfortunately, I had to put it in storage because I don't really have space for them right now. But I have them. And the thing is that my dad said, wow, I remember playing those games as a kid. And he's like, so? Because I was always so pissed off at the dog. Every time you fucking missed, it would laugh at you.
Yeah.
And my sister and I go, Dad,
Yeah. Fuck you, dog.
why?
I mean, you.
And
That's
we go, Dad,
you,
we've got
dog.
some news for you. And we said, Dad, people have made mods where you can shoot them. And he said, justice.
Yes.
Finally, I can get back at that damn dog. By the way, we at Laggin Out do not condone the harming of animals. We're not PETA.
Hello, this is PETA, and we heard that
So-
you had some issues
Yeah,
with animals. We're gonna come over and take your
Fuck that dog.
stuff, your dogs, your
Metaphorically
cats,
speaking,
and
fuck that
everything.
dog.
And there's nothing you can do about it because
But I
we
think
live in
going
a
back to
communist
something
country.
you brought up,
Thank you.
Soda, is that my generation is, I guess in a way, having that retro revival
Yeah.
because we were caught in we were caught in between these odd generations. We had at one point we had the 16 and 32-bit Sega Genesis games.
Thank you for the host, Soda
bringing
Pop.
in
Yes, sir.
while also bringing in the Sega Dreamcast, the beginnings of PlayStation, the beginnings of Xbox, where we're starting to get into actually almost pretty 3D graphics instead of those slideshow style games. And not only that, games that are complete when you fucking buy it.
That's a good one.
It's
Why?
funny because I
Games
teach
with
a
a-
course in this, so go ahead. I'll let
Right.
you say that. And Vinny's
Yeah,
gonna say,
that's it.
"Oh, here we go again with the lecture." But go ahead.
Yeah.
Games that have a sense of character, of creativity to them, some craftsmanship. There aren't a fuck ton of plot holes. It's engaging. It tells the story from beginning to end. And in a way, it's incredibly complex because you're having to simplify certain things. So
Right.
these complex shapes are now only a few pixels big. And yet these are the games we still go back to. And
Yeah, exactly. I want to get
won't
to
complain.
the comments when you're done. So just go ahead, finish your
Sure,
thought.
no, that was it. So my generation is trying to have that sense of, a new childhood because we are wholly unsatisfied with the games of today. Only
Right.
certain games really go, holy shit, that's a really good fucking game.
It's been a
But
while since
it's
I
almost-
said that though. Like
Those
I
are-
talked
those
to
are
people about that all the
gems.
time. Yeah. Like when's the last time that I did I couldn't wait to wake up to go play a video game. And it's been so long. Like
Me too. Yeah.
it's sad, especially now games should be just blowing us away and it's like this is shit. Like
Yeah.
People are
Like,
paying $60 to $100 for games they're not finished. They suck. They're
right. I,
buggy.
I have. I'll get to the price of the games. It's like Vinny said. Yeah, we grew up with. I grew up with those. Super Mario World was my first. Actually, that's probably. I played Super Mario World on the original Nintendo, and he also said Halo Infinite launches December 8th. We don't have a co-op on launch. That's the update. That's 3 months later. Yes, and games should be $125 out of the box. Everyone's getting a deal if you're getting it for 60, $70 an hour. I know that's not a popular opinion, and you're going to say, Chieftain, F you don't understand. And I'm going to go, no. Class is in session. This is how it's going to go. You have to pay people like me, and we're not cheap. So you're going to have maybe 50 to 75 people working on a game, from 35 to $75 an hour working on a game. You're going to have a thing, and I know some of you guys know this from taking some of my classes, shippable bugs. That's fine. You can have shippable bugs. Good. But I have an issue, just like taking off my game developer hat and the gamer hat on, not shipping a complete game. And they haven't shipped a complete game, and then they fleece you. You pay the $60, and then you have to pay Season 1, Season 2, expansion packs, and that sort of thing. Which is where they fucking get you. So you're already, here's a newsflash, you guys are already paying $125 for a game.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, yeah. Oh yeah, they should. Wow, Vinny actually agrees with me. They should be more expensive. That's the first person to ever agree with me with that thing, because it's not a popular thing to say, because people don't want to hear it, because that's just expensive. If you knew how much I made a week at EA Sports, it would make your head fucking spin. That I was in 6 months, I made more than like my dad made in a year. So I was doing regular time and then overtime. I was working 60, 70 hours a week on a Madden game. And I paid off like so much stuff, but...
And that's why Madden's so bad.
Oh, burn! That was a burn. I wish I had a dent.
Big caveat, though. He lost the button.
Actually, one of our other, good professors, lighting on the left.
What's that?
I think, though, the big caveat, the biggest thing that I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying the biggest caveat I have with that statement is it has to be complete. As in, minor patches to kind of go, oh shit, we found something, let's just, put a little spackle on that, a little bit of concealer, it's fine.
Polish that turd.
It should be done. And if you add a DLC later, it should be a DLC out of, hey, we really appreciate you playing our game. We wanted to add a little bit of something. We feel like this will add to the experience, but it's not necessary to enjoy the game. This doesn't affect the end game. This is just
end game
for you to enjoy. For example, there was a game I liked. It did not do well, hence why you don't hear about it very often. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
That was a great game.
That game, I really loved it, okay? I do. It's got a special place in my heart. It was complete, beginning to end. They made 2 DLCs, which I did not buy because I'm a cheap bastard. But also...
She always says that.
I just
don't buy it because I'm cheap. That's her
Actually,
answer to everything. I'm not buying that because I'm cheap. I have a 50-year-old car, and it's put together with duct tape because I am too fucking cheap to fix the fucking bumper. That's Odie in a nutshell.
25. He is
Vinny
half
made a
that
good point.
age. You take that back.
Vinny said, 20 years ago you threw in a game and it didn't work. That happened on Baldur's Gate. The very original Baldur's Gate had a bug. You couldn't get by the very first act. And it took like 2 days to download that patch. So yeah, that sucked.
I have a Halo 2 story. I'm not sure if I can. I have to soften it up. because it's kind of graphic. But one of our party friends, she came over to my house and we were playing Nintendo. She's like, "Can I have this game?" She's like, "Can I have your game in your Xbox? I love this." And she wasn't a gamer. And she's like, "I will do something to you if you give me the game." and I'm just like,
I want to just die.
I could get his back.
I love it. I appreciate the offer, but don't be flattered. I mean, don't be offended, but no. So I was just like, wow.
Oh, Oni went Jedi on you.
She giving me the finger. It's like Frozen.
Yes, double finger,
Yeah.
not just one. She giving you two.
It's one of my Halo stories, and it was funny with those Halo games because you could, when you're drunk, and they were always either drunk or high when we played the split screen with Halo. It was like you'd make up names, and they were doing like horrible names. I can't tell you a particular figure in Europe during the late 1930s and 40s, but someone would put that, and then someone would put something like that would be horrible. So if you put the sentence together, it would say, "This person killed the blank." And I'm just like, oh my, you guys are horrible. And like you don't want to laugh, but you can't help but laugh. And then you had like people putting in like these like historical figures. So Jesus killed Caesar or something like that. And it was just like,
oh yeah.
And when you're drunk, and with them they were high, I wasn't. I was probably drunk half the time. But they would smoke me in the game. And like the higher you were and the more alcohol you consumed, you seemed to be really good at Halo. So I could not grasp that that concept. And I was like, I'd get so mad and they're like, I beat you, man. I'm like, good God. It's the people I went to the Academy of Art University.
Uh-oh.
Don't you just miss the days where if you got angry at someone, you could just disconnect their controller by unplugging the damn thing?
Oh, we got the knockdown, drag down fights. Like, I got put into a headlock. I kind of reversed it, put him into a bull headlock, and started spanking his ass, and like was holding him in a death lock like this. Like if I just do the screen like this, like I was holding him like that, and like everyone wanted a free shot. Everyone's like smacking him in the ass. He got all fucking mad. I beat him so bad.
So
and
you can make a whole episode about Modern Warfare to lobbies and shit. That was a good day though. You could say whatever, never get in trouble. Now you can't even say anything.
Yeah, like approval ratings for Congress were higher than my approval ratings in Call of Duty. It was like, oh my God! Like we have T-shirts that say, what's it? Call of Duty Modern Tryhards, and it's in the font. And my friends is like, when are you coming back to the Call of Duty? I go, I don't have time. It's like he's like, you got to come back. He's like, you got to do a rage video on YouTube. He's like, you got to do a rage video. He's like, I go, dude, I don't have the time, and you always tell me I sucked. Yes, Oni. Yes, Oni. Yes, Oni.
I didn't say anything.
No, you were like doing this, like telling me to shut up or something. I thought you were gonna.
No, I was just doing it to be an ass on the camera.
Oh.
Because I have apparently not. I didn't play online games. Okay, I was strictly a on the PlayStation 2-player game, or you played single-player games. I also just don't do a lot of online games. I'm just kind of like, even if it's an MMORPG, which I only have like 2, and I can't even use them because I don't have internet where I'm at right now, which is fine with me.
She's in the caves of Afghanistan.
I just go by myself.
See, I can't play games by myself anymore.
Well, I mean,
I gotta be on Discord, at least talking to somebody. Like,
yeah, Vinny made a good point. He's like, just imagine wiping out your Xbox, whipping out your Xbox in 20 years and throwing in a game, and then that came out today. And if you don't have the internet, then good luck playing it. Yeah, basically.
yeah, you're fucked.
Yet I could jump onto my OG Xbox and throw in Halo 2 and still experience as when it originally came out. And then Frisky Dingo says, it's true.
My nephew had that issue because he didn't have internet in the middle of New Mexico where the fuck he was at. And he's like, my game won't work. I was like, download the patch. He's like, I can't. I was like, well, fuck, you're screwed. He's like, yeah.
I saw an article. Oh, my accent came out there. I saw an article. I saw an article about the original Xbox, and it says this original Xbox is in a fucking museum. I'm old.
Yeah, you're old. God, yeah, because that's.
I walked in and saw an original NES in like pop culture, the pop culture section in the Boston Museum Art Museum, and it was just like, oh my god, they're like,
maybe
oh
I
my
should
god,
donate my Xbox game collection to him because I
here's
got,
something
like,
fucked up
over here.
This is how people. This is a typical kitchen of the 1980s. And it looked exactly like my kitchen growing up. It had fucking Pictionary on there and shit, and like a little 13-inch black and white. And I'm like, oh, kill me now! Holy shit!
I'm kind of glad. I was telling somebody though, I'm glad I didn't grow up with the internet because I'd have been in so much fucking trouble.
Me too, dude. Me too. Like some bully chased me home and like was beating my head on the apron of a driveway. I'm glad that was never filmed.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad cyberbullying and all that shit was not a thing. And
no, real bullying was a thing.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah, I mean, that's what I kind of tell people. It's bullying to a point isn't bad. Bullying in general is bad, but it builds character, you know? You gotta get your ass whooped once in your life.
I now make more money than all those bullies, so. Fuck you, bullies.
And that's what I always told, I told my daughter, like, all them kids picking on you, gonna be working at McDonald's, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you're gonna make $15 an hour now.
I was gonna say, yeah, working at McDonald's is not bad now. They make more than we do.
I was bullied. I can only tell you from my experience because I know I'm a bit younger than both of you.
Yeah.
I don't think I really grew up that much with the internet. I knew what it was. So the first console I had was the Sega Genesis. And the first game my sister and I had was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because it had Tails. And my mom had Cosmic Carnage, which gave us nightmares because the character she played got fucking decapitated, and we were like 2. We're like, oh my gosh. So, 2-year-old kids. Meanwhile, my dad had Doom 1 on his Mac and Doom 2 on the Sega.
Did he have an LC2?
He worked in printing. Huh?
What kind of Mac? Was it an LC2 or 2 SE?
That I don't know. All I know is it was not the clamshell type. He used to work in printing, so that's why he had Mac, and he would play Doom on it. And we then went to Game Boy Color when we moved to
that's racist. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, my sister had her first Pokemon game. First game on the Game Boy Color was Pokemon Yellow. My first game was Pokemon Silver, and then the next one she got was Gold, and the next one I got was Crystal. Which, by the way, I fucking loved that game. I feel like Game Freak had something, and they didn't really bring it back until Heart Gold Soul Silver, which was a fucking crime. But they finally brought it back, so hey. But we knew the internet existed, and it's not like we were ever told you can't access the outside world. It's just, we're, short little kids. We got attention spans, long as my nose, and I don't really have one, by the way.
Well, if it was my nose, it'd be longer.
We're outside running around.
Netscape Navigator.
Looking at bugs, playing with the neighborhood kids, going swimming or whatnot, playing in the creek.
Doing drugs,
doing whatever. Yeah, I know, right? So, again, the era where a stick is a sword, fight me, Helen, it's a sword. But when I was just
a boy,
I was in like 4th grade, we started being allowed to access the internet a little bit. My mom had gotten her own desktop, so we were allowed to peruse more of the internet. I knew what iTunes was, but outside of that, we used Safari. So So then on my mom's Dell, we'd start going on online games. I used arcadetown.com and miniclips.com, which, if I recall, they're still around. I used to play Zombie Squirrel Attack. I'm not afraid to say that.
She says it with confidence.
Well, that was kind of my first foray of the internet. I didn't get a Facebook until I was in 10th grade. I didn't get Instagram until...
Yeah.
I was like 30.
What was the thing before Facebook that everyone had? MySpace.
MySpace, which is still around.
I still have an account.
I probably do too.
And I just, I'm just not on social media a lot because I found it to be
depressing.
More anxiety-inducing than it needs to be.
It is. Yeah, that's good.
If you can't affect the world around you, why are you interacting with it? It feels so meaningless. So by limiting my Facebook time, which I barely use anymore, by limiting my Instagram time, which I really only use just to look at art, keep track of artists, things like that, I don't get nearly wrapped up in my head as if I were, every 2 minutes checking my Facebook.
I have 2 Facebooks.
We just...
I think I have 3.
My generation...
company, though.
Yeah.
My parents raised my sister and I to still enjoy the outdoors. So although I do love the internet, I'm on it a lot, I do understand what, physical hobbies are. I still understand the necessity to go outside as rarely as I do that. I really should do that more often, though. I'm just not a people person, okay? That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
She's impossible to get a hold of, Oni. She doesn't have Facebook. She goes fucking invisible
yes,
on
I
Discord.
Do.
Oh, you do? Okay, you do. I don't see you. But, like, on Discord, she's fucking invisible. She's like the Invisible Woman from the Fantastic Four. Like, I had to look up, like, a private message, like, to send her a message for the show today. Because she's fucking invisible. She's just like... All right, I gotta guess I can just message her here, and I just hope she's on. So I just
maybe
I'm gonna cross my fingers. Like I always put the busy signal on.
I honestly don't think my parents would have let me on the internet much if we had.
No,
I grew up an athlete all the way up to pro. So the internet would have fucked my career up, and my dad would have probably, beat me because. That's how we got, actually disciplined and shit.
Yeah, we had the belt, the wooden spoon.
The spoon. The fucking spoon, man.
Italians, the wooden spoon. One time, my mom wound up and tried to hit my brother in the ass, and the spoon broke in half, and we both
that happened to me.
cheered
My
and
mom
laughed
says,
and went,
no.
"Yay!"
Yeah, see, I tell that story to my mom, and she's like, "I never did that." I said, "You broke that spoon on me." I remember I was like 3, and I didn't forget it. I'm ancient now, and I don't.
You learn not to do it again, right?
Yeah, exactly. I grew up a very, I'm still well mannered for the most part,
Yeah.
I say yes, ma'am, and of course we're getting to where we can't say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir anymore either. And
yeah.
That's what everybody says. So.
I get when I teach the class, I let them know early. On
I have to do that too, and that's sad that we have to do that. The very first class, like anybody wants to be called different pronoun, let us know now.
I go through the pronouns, American Disabilities Act thing, and then office hours, extra help, extra help, extra help. If you need extra help, I'm there for you to extra help. Let me know, like message me so that way I can help you.
I wish my professors at the where we went to school would have done that. I'd have been all over their help. They had online meetings like once, maybe every 6 months. If they offered me help 24/7, I'd have been blowing up their Discord.
Right? It's like it's a unique opportunity for an instructor to do that and to be available. So,
Vinny's a good example. Hey, he can get hold of me anytime. Evan, them guys.
Yeah, and on the professional side, like if Oni or Hero is our IT / host, if they have ideas, it's always good to be receptive to different ideas. So it's always good to keep an open mind. What if we do this? And then I'll put my opinion in. Usually it's like, yeah, that's a great idea. But what's my usual answer, Oni? I don't have the time to do it.
That is.
So that's why we have Frisky Dingo 75 doing our edits for us. He has done a great job this year.
Hopefully I get invited back to the show. But...
Oh, you will? I wasn't sure if you wanted to do this or not, so I was like, let me try.
I miss streaming. I do miss streaming. I mean, I streamed sometimes 20 hours a day during my masters, and it just got to be,
wow.
You know, where you have 100 people and you're watching you every night, and if you don't stream 8-10 hours, they're blowing you up. Why didn't you stream? Why?
Well, you can stream on our channel.
I'm working on a thesis. I'm working on it. I just can't. I don't have time.
Right.
It would be weird. I'd have to like stop and go answer somebody. In fact, I probably got messages now, but I'm ignoring them. But
I don't.
With this teaching,
You don't have gen ed classes. They probably have a lot more questions. My gen ed classes is just like pretty much history of animation. Here you go. This is Fleischer. This is Walt Disney. Da 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 da. This is what parallaxing is. Here's the bullet points, and here's the video, and like everything is there. There's not really a lot there. It's like you read the chapter, watch the thing. Anyway, people will get bored about it, but I mean, it's like 75 minutes of me just talking.
Well, yeah, mine's usually about that long.
So, and Oni knows that I can go on forever, so she's known me a lot.
Well, it's like when we talk, is look up like 3 hours, like holy shit, we've been talking 3 hours, man. We got shit to do.
Yeah, it's a Discord. Yeah, like Oni and Hiro and me, like we'll have like a 2-hour meeting, and like the content is probably 25-30 minutes, and then it's just like shooting the shit for like 2 hours. They're like, Oni's like, I gotta go, and I'm like, I gotta go too. So it's like I'm tired. But
people just like listening to people shoot the shit. You know?
Well, I mean, we like 5 viewers is five times as many viewers as I got last time. So I mean.
Well, I don't know.
We don't do this that often, so.
My Australians should be in here. They must be sleeping in. So.
Yeah. Was it like a 14-hour difference?
Because he's the one bitching, like, let's see. It should be like 10 in the morning. Yeah.
Well, they're all locked down anyway, so, I mean, what else do they have to do?
Well, he's the one bitching because I don't stream anymore. Like, and then I was like, hey, I'm streaming, and you're not even in it. Like,
we have to call in the ambulance? Do you do, like, this, like, avatar thing when you stream?
Yeah, usually. But I had some pumpkin, like a pumpkin guy, a clown guy.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I want to say I started the VTuber trend. Because everybody's using their own avatars, you know, like Code Miko and all them.
I want to do one, but I don't know what I want it to be. Because that way I don't have to set up any of the lighting or the... Like, spend extra money on that little thing in the background there.
It's so expensive. Like, what is
$40?
No, for the suit for, you know, motion. A mocap.
Oh, the mocap suit.
Like
yeah,
$3,000. You know. So. Of course, this is a mocap. I would love to have mocap, but for one,
I can't hear you, Ani.
I think it's lagging hardcore right now. Give it a second.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I done fucked up.
Mistakes were made.
I think it's because I typed something. I typed something in the chat, and now you can't see it, and I think it's really messing with my computer. Poor guy. I'm sorry.
I think you should
Don't die.
She should connect your computer to her car and have the most ghetto kit ever created. It's like, I'm sorry, Oni. Processing. Processing. Processing.
My vehicle doesn't even have a computer, really. It's
plug it
like
into the cigarette lighter.
Oh, hell no. No.
Your call's important to us. It's trying to remind you that you need to renew your car's warranty.
Yeah, right. That's a good one.
Oh boy, we got off the rails, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, what's new?
What's the other one thing? What's the other one that you sent me, Oni? The other. Is that in the regular chat? Is that the Heritage Auctions? Oh, Wada. We
Kind of
talked
on the
about that.
same auction. Speaking of eBay, a big, not gaming, but card company. I was doing Pokemon, basketball, baseball. They were
Yeah.
literally booted off of eBay for shill bidding, which means they were running up their own auctions. So if it's happening, with Pokemon cards, what's happening with video games and anything else that's on eBay. And they were like 18 million, you know, sales a month on eBay, and eBay's like, no, see ya, so
I had
it
a.
happens everywhere.
They do that with the cars on there too. They're like, he's like, do me a favor, put a bid in and then retract the bid. I'm like, what? She's like, go ahead
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right. I put in the bid and the auto thing would kick in and outbid me.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can actually check now that it shows you, this person has zero feedback and bid 100% with the, that seller, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you, I'm not buying you. What? Uh-oh.
do you know what this is?
I do.
You do. Does anybody in the
I
chat
think.
know what shirt this is? So that way they
I
could
can't tell.
enlighten Oni on what it is.
Then
See, I don't
What do you
tolerate. I don't. What do they call it when people are not chatting? Lurking. That's it. Lurking will
No
not be
lurking.
tolerated. I'm just kidding.
I don't discriminate against lurkers.
It's
Oh.
an
No,
XL.
I don't lurking.
It's extra large.
It's an XL.
It's a double
Fuck
X. most likely.
you. Fuck you, dude.
Ooh.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
I want to say it's Call of Duty Ghost.
It is. It is
Okay.
Call of Duty Ghost. Yeah.
Oh man, for the win.
Yep. Call of Duty.
I don't
This
think
is
they have a
not
Dark
only a
Island
Call of Duty
shirt.
Ghost shirt. This is a staff shirt. Like they didn't sell this one. Actually, got it from another Lagging Out host that's no longer with us.
Sweet.
So
It
yeah,
still looks like Darth Nihilus from here, so
it
I'm
does.
sorry.
It does a little bit like Darth Nihilus. A little.
You can hear me again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
can
cool.
hear
Well then,
you
I remember what the
again.
second. I remember what the other subject was that Hiro brought up.
Is that Hero?
It's about that live action version of Cowboy Bebop. By the way, there's
Oh.
apparently going to be a live action My Hero Academia.
Oh.
I don't have very high
No.
hopes because live action anime doesn't. Animation as a style doesn't
boring.
translate well to the screen.
Hey, somebody
Because
agrees
animation-
with me. Thank you.
What, animation's boring? Or
No,
the
anime.
No, I don't
translation
like
of the...
Anime.
Anime.
I'm very particular about it, and the only
she's
reason
very
why
selective
I
on
keep
it.
up with it, the only reason why I keep up with it is because it's in the news, and I appreciate certain things like certain characters, but I don't really follow it really for anything else. Animation just, as a whole, doesn't translate well to the big screen with live people because
Nothing really does, though.
Neither does any
No,
Resident
be-
Evil movie.
because
Lion
you're,
King,
you're
Mulan.
bending through animation, you are bending the laws of physics to give it character.
Right.
If you did a live action and then went to animation, it would be fine, probably. But it
90%
never translates.
CGI.
But it never translates well, and I just
Unless
I
it's the
really
demon
wish
from
it
Death
was-
Note doing the Apple Pen song. Then it's
Nope.
fine.
Ryuk.
I'm an
His
apple.
name is Ryuk, and he's
And I'm
he's
a
not a
pen.
demon. He is a Shinigami,
Uh-oh.
a death god, technically.
You fucked that one up. Good job.
Well, that's
See,
because
this-
that's Japanese mythology. I know a little
No,
bit
I know.
about that.
The two guys I hang out with Discord every night are anime freaks, and they talk about. I'm like, what in the fuck are y'all talking about?
But
I like
Back
the
to
Apple.
why
I call him
we're
the
doing
Apple
anime.
Pen guy.
that would be
It's
me, the
because
purple-headed demon. Like
America is there's an American studio making a live action Cowboy Bebop. So it's not even Japanese. It's American Cowboy Bebop, and that's supposed to be like a let's go with sci-fi western. Yeah, we'll work with that. Sci-fi western.
Okay.
Kind of like Firefly, sort of, but even more titties. Anyways, um, the character, the actress of the lead female character, I don't watch the anime, so I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody. Apparently, the actress made some comments saying that she was sexualized, she being the character was sexualized, and that people need to get over that culture. A couple of problems with that sentence. One, why did you accept the contract if you didn't like it? Two,
Money.
you clearly don't know your source material, because last I checked, she swindled guys for their money by being sexy. That was the point.
She's
She was
Women do that?
thirst-tastic.
I've never seen a woman
right.
do that.
She's
I do it all the time.
she's supposed.
Those filters
Yeah,
help
you're
on
so
Instagram.
sexy. You're hella sexy. That's why.
How many filters do you have to be considered that?
3 or 4,
Wow.
and lots of airbrushing.
Let me put some visual effects on him real quick.
Yeah.
So now part of me kind of goes, okay, costume department, why did you change the costume? Now, I could understand if it's like, look, laws of physics, we can't really fudge that. I completely understand. Or if the actress went, I really don't feel comfortable showing that much skin. Is there something we can work around it? In which case, there's plenty of stuff you could do. You could wear a skin tone bodysuit to cover whatever it is you feel uncomfortable about. You could easily modify the costume to still look very sensual while covering up whatever it is you want to cover up. But it doesn't really look like that character. And the thing is that when you are modifying something from an intellectual property that's a visual intellectual property, kind of fucking hard to fudge that. So people don't really have high hopes for this Cowboy Bebop, if you could possibly imagine.
Well, she's already in trouble for something, so.
It's for that, because she was mouthing
Okay.
off on social media. And the thing is that I was talking to my dad about it, because he and I just shoot the shit sometimes. He's like, usually they tell you to keep your mouth shut when you're working on a project, unless it's, hey, we're on set filming, and this is totally approved by your public, your department of social media. But if you're going to badmouth it, you might want to, keep it quiet until it's all released so that it doesn't affect the sales. And again, I'm just putting this out there. Regardless of who is right or wrong in this situation, how you conduct yourself, how you behave, and unfortunately how you are perceived can and will affect possible future employment. So if you conduct yourself like an ass, people aren't going to want to hire you anymore.
But this is a common thing going on with actresses and actors nowadays.
Well, of course,
Don't-
because
don't-
they all want to,
Oh, go
they
ahead.
all want to stand for something, but what
But
they
it's like
stand for
they
is
want more money and they're already making a shitload of money. That's what fucks the shit out of me. It's like, you only made 30
but they're
million. Where's
also
my other 5
supporting
million at you?
but they're also supporting ideas that have been proven to be not be accepted. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong for accepting them, okay? That's not what I'm saying. It's that if you know it's going to be detrimental to the sales, and if you get a commission based on the sales of that product, why would you put yourself in the way of it? If you had a problem with it in production, wouldn't you want to remove yourself? Even if you have to take, a certain cut because, hey, look, you broke contract. I can't
I
say
won't
I
get
understand,
shit.
but I mean, that's partly why I don't want to work in Hollywood, is because they have thoroughly screwed themselves over from the top down, it would seem. Uh, Theaters, it's a smaller environment, but with Hollywood, they're in such a bubble. They don't want to hear anything else. And then when they do, they act like everyone else is wrong. You are bad mouthing the consumers, which aren't even going to be consumers once they're done with you. But you're shitting on the very people that you're relying on for your money. That doesn't really make any sense. As my dad said, people who are into these hobbies get really into these hobbies. We get very invested. You might not want to piss off those people because they will speak with their wallets and they will shut you up. That's not supposed to sound like anything other than you don't get paid. People don't want to deal with that. Why do you think DC Comics is doing so poorly? Why do you think Marvel is doing so poorly? People
Well,
just
we know
want the
Marvel why.
experience. Oh, Marvel's got a lot of reasons why. Part of it's Walt Disney. I
Well, yeah.
Spider-Man.
There's always something.
Spider-Man's still
as
good.
much.
Spider-Man sucks.
Fuck you.
Spider-Man, Batman. They can both just go away.
Can we get a little? Hey, chat. Can we get a little bit of love for Alan Cummings' rendition of Nightcrawler in X-Men 2?
Here we go.
I loved his version of. Hey, shut up! You get to talk about Spider-Man. I'm going to talk about my
because
favorite
he's a real
blue elf.
He's a real superhero.
And Batman is? Come on. He's a rich man.
Batman is a vigilante. I'm just kidding. I always give it. I like the original Nightcrawler from the original X-Men series, the cinematic universe. That one I like the best.
That was, by today's standards, it still has a special place in my heart.
I have no problem with Nightcrawler.
And the effects have held up very, very well. Again, because it's almost like they used prosthetics and practical effects. It ages better. I'm not. Again, this is not.
He was also the best player to use in the 4-player arcade version of X-Men.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen for that? Can I get an amen for that? Who played Nightcrawler in the 4-player arcade?
Probably me.
I think I might have when I saw it in the arcade, and I was like, oh, Nightcrawler, I love you.
Better than Wolverine, better than White Vision. Racist,
sadly,
by the way.
I'm a villain or anti-villain character, like Deadpool. I'm a Harley Quinn, Joker. Those are my top 3 right there.
Okay.
I think DC can make a very good, compelling villain, but I always found their heroes to be a little too perfect for me. Whereas with Marvel, I felt they could make a well-balanced hero and a well-balanced villain, as well as certain villains where you're just like, no, that bitch is just evil. Which is
I would
fine,
pick,
good to have.
Kick-Ass to me is one of the best, superhero type movies. And you don't get a lot of people that give that credit.
Okay, I'm gonna make some comments.
I'm so glad we.
I really liked Keanu Reeves in Constantine.
Constantine is one of my favorites.
Also. I thought that was a really cool movie. I think it has held up well. And Satan was fucking awesome. I mean, you hate him, but he's played in such a suave way, you just go, damn.
That's just a good movie, though. They don't make it.
Yeah, and again, practical effects. And then a guilty pleasure of mine that I'm not afraid to admit because I have the UMD for the PlayStation Portable of this movie. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And could you take a wild guess who my favorite character in that movie was?
Sean Connery. Or
nope.
It was probably Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Technically, it was Jekyll, but I do love Jekyll and Hyde. And again, practical effects with prosthetics. Jason Fleming was very, very talented. And if I recall, Jason Fleming was also in X-Men First Class as Azazel. So
anime.
Big.
I'm gonna do a Jen Psaki and circle back here.
Jen Psaki.
some of you political files would get that.
Yeah.
One anime that could be converted into a movie. One that I think that will work. And you cannot disagree with this, because if you do, you're a communist. Attack on Titan would be great as a live-action movie.
Never seen.
Prove me wrong right now, chat. Prove me wrong.
I'm not saying it can't work. The CGI,
I'm just saying it won't.
it's that the effects have to be right. It's definitely based more in reality than other IPs. Full Metal Alchemist, you're going to rely on a lot of costuming and CGI to make those effects work. My Hero Academia, there's going to be a fuck ton of CGI. I just know it, and I don't know if I trust people to portray my favorite character well, so that's just me. Sorry. It's not that I don't trust the director. They chose the director already. It's just the conversion just never seems to work out. But Attack on Titan could work. I think they're trying to make it into a live action. Don't quote me on it.
One of the main actors needs to be Amber Heard.
Okay, I'll bite. Why?
No, there's no reason, just to see what you would say. There was no. You have such animosity towards her, and it is well given. But yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Just saying, if they ever do make a live action, I will offer. I will submit an application to play Levi because I am about as tall as he is, and I have resting bitch face. So works out.
You got to stick to what you're good at.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have much going for me, so I might as well shoot my shot.
All right. So you were fishing for a compliment here. You have more.
No.
You have a lot of stuff going for you. You're very talented. You're a good costume designer. You graduated from school.
Don't
served in the military.
I know where my strengths are, and acting and being pretty are not it. So the portrayal of Levi would be less acting, more just do what you do. Cool. Hey, can I slit his throat now? Okay, cool. Sweet. Let's go home, guys. Good job, team.
High five. High five, green guy. High five,
what
Blueberry.
other anime would make a good...
I
mean, they tried to even make Powerpuff Girls, which I cannot fathom.
Powerpuff Girls, the New Titans, all are in the same realm of garbage.
Is Powerpuff Girls considered an anime?
Well, no, but it was animation first.
Okay, I'll say I did grow up with my daughter.
Now, actually, wait. Powerpuff Girls did have an anime version. It was called Powerpuff Girls Z. Don't ask how I know this.
Didn't watch that.
How do you know this?
It existed for some reason. I'm not sure why. Titans, as far as I'm aware of, is actually getting better. So kudos to them.
Ugh. Is that on HBO?
But yes.
So let me take a wild guess. It's on HBO. You don't have it because you're cheap, right? Am I close?
Yeah, pretty much. Also because I don't really use streaming services. I use YouTube. Okay.
That's right.
I don't pay for premium.
I don't go premium.
I have to be really invested in a show to want to watch it consistently. Let me just break it down for you real quick. BoJack Horseman.
My shit always
long.
BoJack's the bomb.
BoJack Horseman came out in 2015. I was in the Marine Corps. So I watched season 1 when it came out, season 2 when it came out, and season 3 when it came out. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then season 4 came out. And then 5. And then 6. I didn't watch 4, 5, or 6 until after it was all of it was released. Final episode was done. I watched season 4, and then I watched season 5. Season 6, I took like an episode a day just because of how heavy it got. And I had to take a solid just time, like a day and a half or so, to watch the final episode, just because of how well they tied that show up. They wrapped it. They just closed up those loose ends. There's a sense of justice. There's a sense of finality. Very bittersweet. But I was
5 hours
very dedicated to
later.
that show. Yeah, whatever.
Trying to think, but nothing happens.
You gotta get the double fingers here in a second.
I know.
There's one.
Oh, but I just
BoJack
don't
was
really
a
watch
good
a lot of
series.
shows.
I watch it.
I liked it. I think they really knew what they were doing, and I think they could have left it off at the penultimate episode, but I think they handled the final episode incredibly well. I'm not mad at all.
I haven't watched the last season. See, I have a problem with watching last episodes or last seasons. I get so pissed. Like, I never finished Warehouse 13. I never watched the last.
Oh my gosh!
Pennywise.
My mom
not
loved that
Pennywise,
show.
What was the one? I hate watching final episodes. I mean, it's like I know I'm never gonna see it again, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to watch it. Like,
Okay,
fuck
yeah, I felt
Like
that.
an
That's kind of
OCD
what I got.
thing.
It's kind of what I got with BoJack Horseman.
Because they usually
was-
do fuck up last episode. You gotta admit, last episodes they usually don't know how to end it. So
You're right, but BoJack Horseman did it well. BoJack Horseman did it justice. There was.
I'll have to finish watching it then.
It's good. Don't.
Supernatural is my big one. Like Supernatural last episode.
Oh,
was
shit.
Does that have a
It's-
fucking end, that show?
Yeah, they ended it,
Oh,
but they're
okay.
bringing
Yeah,
it back. They're bringing back a prequel. So
Oh,
What
God.
the fuck?
yeah.
It's kind of like
mean,
Lost.
Leverage-
It's like, we need to
Leverage
explain-
came back.
Hey, you better watch out what you say
So-
about Lost.
You think the last season was worth it?
I think the last episode of Lost was the most confusing fucking thing I've ever watched.
I
in my
don't know
life.
what the fuck was going on with the last fucking episode. I don't understand.
And everybody's got their own version of it. Like everybody's got their own take.
They're dead all along.
So they're all lost.
Spoiler.
Me
Spoiler
and my
alert.
me and my Australian friend are big Lost fans, and we come up with shit all the time about what was happening, and I always fuck with them. I'm like, yeah, they're making a new Lost, right? He's
my
like, fuck you.
What were you saying, Oni?
Sort of. It's called Leverage Redemption. They don't have Timothy Hutton though, because he's got some legal stuff going on right now. As far as I'm aware of, that's why he's not there. I liked how they ended Leverage with 5 seasons, although they could have left it at season 4. Okay, it's pretty fucking funny.
Feel the same
And
way
good,
about
but-
Walking Dead, but yeah.
I'm about 3 seasons behind, man.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
trying to
after
think
a
of
while,
another show
Oni,
that
I
I-
think it's like a money grab.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the thing about it is that, so this will give you a taste of what I'm like as a creature on this earth. I watched Leverage. I was watching Burn Notice. Still haven't caught up on that one. I left for boot camp before the series ended, as far as I'm aware of. So very anti-hero kind of things or vigilante type stuff. Castle.
Oh, you get
feel
along
like
with my
there was
dad. He
another one
loved
in
that
there.
show. Castle. That's because the guy from
Um,
Firefly is in it. That's why you liked it.
Mal, yeah. Nathan Fillion is awesome.
He's also in
uh,
The Rookie.
I wanted to see that. I would be interested because again, it was another cop show that he's in. Bones.
Is that a
and
porn?
Castle suffered. I'm sorry.
Bones?
Is that a porno?
No,
Bones
it
is
has
definitely a
David
porn.
Boreanaz.
I know what it is. It's a joke.
I felt like seasons 1 and 2 of Castle and Bones were both good, but after season 2, I just couldn't really keep up with it, and I didn't even watch it to the end either. But those shows kind of suffer from that. Burn Notice, as far as I'm aware of, didn't, and they wrapped up the loose ends, which is very good to do. Leverage still made sure to keep it fresh, but I mean, aside from that, I don't generally watch a lot of shows or shows that are in pieces. It's like, oh yeah, your favorite anime was only one season. I'm like, cool. And then one of them got a sequel, and I'm not gonna watch that. It's back with the rest of the anime where it's basically fan service. And I don't want it to seem like I'm saying guys or gals or variations thereof who like fan service are terrible people. You're not. I just feel like it's a lazy way of storytelling, because instead of keeping the focus on the story or the characters, you're using panty shots or titty shots or titty physics instead of actually telling the story. So that's just me personally.
Alright.
Yeah, of course you'd like that shit. But also, now to be fair though, one of the shows that I watched, it was only one season originally, was Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
That chicks need love too.
That's right.
The reason why it had such a long hiatus between first and second seasons is, for starters, they didn't know if they were going to, but also the director of season 1 died in the Kyoto animation fire. So they wanted to tread that very carefully, and I completely respect that. I probably won't watch it just because I really don't need to see titties everywhere, let alone of characters that look underage. It's just kind of weird to out.
Alright. Giggity gig.
Of course we like
Vinny makes a very good point in the chat. He says, I don't know, anime boobs are kind of cool.
I like where this is going.
Oh, I mean, well, but here's the thing though.
I got a
It's
ton
because
of them.
American comics aren't delivering that shit. But I'm not saying that they're showing inaccurate body types, but they're certainly not showing very heroic body types. They're not.
Right.
It's not appealing to people.
What would a heroic body type look like? She-Ra?
Exactly.
Classic She-Ra,
Lyra?
classic She-Hulk.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It's. I mean, who didn't love classic She-Hulk
Right.
with her perm? Okay.
Vinny
She
said
looked
He-Man.
good.
See,
He-Man's
like,
He-Man doesn't have boobs though.
Nah, he's got man titties.
I think we're touching on a great point here about what's the ideal hero body type as far as classic genders are concerned, and usually, for lack of a better term, feminazis are saying it's like, well, a woman doesn't have to be woman to be strong. It's like these Barbies an unrealistic body type, and it made me feel uncomfortable as a person. I'm like, bitch, I grew up with fucking He-Man and G.I. fucking Joe. You ever see Roadblock? Yeah. That motherfucker's jacked. He-Man is fucking jacked. Every dude in Eternia was fucking on juice. They were roided the fuck out. And you think as an 8-year-old boy, you're like, oh, I want to look like that? You think because 8-year-old boys didn't go through the same thing? It's like, we didn't go through the same thing because if we said something like that, we were called a pussy.
Yep.
So we couldn't say anything like that. So shut the fuck up. So a hero type can be anything. A hero type is more of an attitude more than a body type, in my opinion. Because if you're making a character and you're having, I'm sorry about my students about this, you have the uniform, the costume tell a story. That's what makes a hero.
Not spoken. And
just hit random
sound
effects.
I'd like your opinion on this, because I have a thought.
Yeah, please. I would love to hear a different point of view on this.
Well, it's not necessarily different. It's just a little bit of a different take.
Okay.
When people talk about a power fantasy, and we're going to go with the male power fantasy just because that's the one most spoken of, I don't seem to get the idea that it's strictly with strength. It's the male power fantasy is being able to actually influence the world around you to what it is you're seeking to achieve your goals, to whether that's save someone or whether that's save yourself or to be successful in your endeavors. That would be a power fantasy, because right now a lot of guys, a lot of men are feeling powerless because they keep being told that they are wrong because of things that are out of their control.
Toxic masculinity, I think the term is what you're hinting around to. It's
No,
what the
because
term
I
that
don't.
they're-
I
that's
don't
the
think
term
toxic
they use.
masculinity is.
Oh, go ahead.
It is, but they're saying toxic masculinity is just masculinity, and masculinity is toxic. If you're going to talk about toxic masculinity, I I get the feeling that it's about a man shouldn't seek help. A man should be able to do it all by himself. That would be toxic to me. Or that everything rests on you. Every failure is yours. You have to own it. Instead of, hey, look, if you're struggling, reach out for help. If someone's offering to help you, take their hand. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to let out some emotions, it's okay to have that bond with somebody. You don't have to feel like you should share it with everybody, but you should have an outlet. But people want to take away outlets for guys, and they wonder why these guys are so pent up and frustrated and doing nothing with their lives. That I would certainly feel fucking frustrated if people kept telling me, well, you're flawed, you're flawed, you're flawed, you're just wrong. So I would imagine that a power fantasy isn't just about how you look, how you feel. It's being able to actually change things, to be somebody, and not be constantly hounded for things that you didn't even choose. I certainly didn't choose to be, 5'2". That's called genetics. I can choose the color of my hair by bleaching it, but my genes are going to say, you got brown eyes, bitch. Get contacts if you want to change it.
Well, if you put gel in your hair and spike it up, you can get the 6'2". Right?
I don't think my hair is that quite that long, but let's aim for 5'6". Definitely go for 5'6", 5'7" if I'm lucky.
And can you walk in heels?
I can. On the weekends anyway.
I can wear.
That was directed towards you, Soda. No, go ahead.
Only on the weekend.
I can.
No, go ahead. Can you walk in heels?
Yes, but I would rather cut my feet off when I'm done walking in them, unless they're platform boots.
And have you ever worn a dress?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. If we can get
me or her.
Both.
Yes.
Both. If we get like $1,000 in tips, you have to wear a dress.
I'd have to find one that fits me.
Not
kind
you.
of built, I don't know where I'd get a dress to fit my broadness. I would though. If somebody donated $1,000, yeah, I'd put a dress. I have my long hair now. I guess I could pretty.
Yeah.
He would look like he'd be running for governor in California.
That's right. Everything's normal now, so it wouldn't really shock anybody.
No, that's true.
In fact, my mom was doing my hair, and I was wondering when does your mom and you're 45 be like, why am I doing my son's hair?
I shave my head every 5 weeks.
Yeah, I'm so close to it, but
I can't deal with my hair. I get a Guido fro. It goes out like this, so it just goes out really far for me.
Well, I already have anxiety and agoraphobia, so when the pandemic hit, I really still don't do much.
I love my commute. I love my commute with the pandemic. Everything's remote now in 3D. Like if you're working on a video game, like I'm doing, or we're teaching, or I do tutoring. I do one-on-one tutoring online. I teach online, and I work on video games because I work on 3D, and then I'm working on a business plan for Lagging Out. So it's It
mean,
works
all my
great for me
work's
because the
online.
commute literally is me go to the bathroom, shower, shave, and shit, go back to my office, turn on my computer, and check in, and that's it.
No, I know the feeling. I mean, I specifically built my degrees around working online, so because I didn't know if I was ever gonna get better. So I mean, I didn't leave the house for 10 years, so
He's agoraphobic.
it sucked, man. It was horrible.
Don't.
If I do a whole episode on anxiety, agoraphobia, all that shit.
Oh God.
You want to get sentimental and
Just
just get good.
Just get good.
I am good. See, that's what I did. I took what I had and I made the best of it. See, I could have been, like, oh, poor pitiful me. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do anything. I'm just gonna live on my disability. But that wasn't me. I couldn't stand that shit.
No, I hate it. There's something to be said to go out and earn a living for yourself. It gives you a sense of purpose in a free society, and I say free society in quotations. So you feel better when you're able to get a paycheck for doing something.
A little paycheck, but yeah.
Yeah,
I love teaching.
Yeah, teaching's fun. I like it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. Vinny, it's get gooder. # get gooder. So
That's
just so you know.
He can't do the the gift, so he's mad. There's no get good gift in here.
# get gooder. But yeah, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh. I can't remember now. I completely had a brain fart.
Don't go to the bank and get $1,000 and donate it to yourself. So I put a dress on either. By the way, I will check the donation.
I don't even know if I have a dress in this state right now, and I'm not buying another one.
Old man can't remember. See, Vinny. See, this is the problem with students. They're like, it calls old, and he's only like 10 years younger than you.
Old man can't remember. I remember in my day. Remember, Vinny, when you're applying for a job, it might be a place I worked at. So they're like, hey, Joe, do you know that guy, Vinny? And I'm like, yeah, I know him. The guy who always challenged me in class. Yeah, you don't want to. That guy's a wise ass. Yeah, he thinks he knows everything. I'm just kidding.
Old man can't. Yeah, see, now we can remember.
See,
I have a very good memory. Thank you.
Here's the secret. Caffeine, ginkgo biloba, and B12. That helps me with my memory. That was able to get. That's why I took the Celsius, so I'm kind of wired. I know some of y'all are getting a little tired, so I've been up since like 8:30, 8 o'clock.
But, I took a nap. Screw that.
Yeah, I had to bake 5 levels, 5 video game levels, and redo one of them.
I played games for about 2 hours. Then
I turned in my shots today. I'm not sure if I can tell you which game I can work on, but I can tell you it's for the Oculus. Well, that's the only thing I could tell you. But
I know nothing.
My art director said, "It's like, oh, you're working on my favorite level. No pressure." I'm like, okay. I turned it in. He's like, he came back. This was my critique today. This is what he said. He's like, dude, that temple volcano scene is fucking insane. He says it looks so good. And I'm just like, all right, like every shot I did, it's like I only had to go back on one shot out of 13. Like there's like, oh, there's like one little tweak here you have to do. I'm like, all right, no problem. And like, I think there's 37 levels, and I finished 13 in a week.
You see, you're doing it too fast. You're gonna lose your job. That's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's I have to go back, and I'm gonna have to go back anyway when they do the playthroughs. So they'll have some lighting bugs. I'll have to fix.
See, that's why I fucked up when I was writing the classes. I was writing them too fast, so they assumed I could write every class that quick, and
I can't help it because I have that ADD brain. So
I do
like,
too. I can't say shit.
So that's why like I'm able to get a lot of shit done. I work, like Oni knows this. I work on like multiple things at the same time. So like I'll be baking a shot, but I'll also be grading papers because the baking of the shot takes 30 minutes, and I can get 3 papers read and graded.
Yeah,
So,
if I'm doing something, I won't sleep until it's done. I won't sleep well. I'm better now, but when I was younger, getting my master's, I didn't sleep for like 6
I finished
years,
my
it seems
master's 2 months early, and I drank 3 times a week at the end.
Well,
So
mine
it's just
sucked. Like I said, millimeter off on our designs, and we failed. So
Oni took costume design,
ET.
and like she's pretty meticulous with her stuff too. So,
well, that's why I'm glad if they change it to graphics or program to actual graphics. I'm gonna be I'll be happy because motion graphics we really weren't teaching correct motion graphics. We'd have to redo every class. So.
Yeah, I understand that. That's fine.
Apparently, somebody listened somewhere finally 5 years later. But hope nobody's listening from our school.
I just love hearing that you're working on a game and the lead, I don't know if it's the director or if he's, the head of your department, loves that game. He's excited to work on that game.
Oh yeah.
It's not just about the money. This is nostalgia. No. I don't want to do it right.
Well, I think Joe's like me. He probably wouldn't work on something that he wouldn't put his name on, because I would.
Right.
Yeah. No, but I mean it feels like a lot of movies and TV shows, video games, hobbies that are being cranked out by these big names have lost. They've lost the spark.
Did you read the comment too at the same time I did? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, they've lost the spark, and they think that they're too big to fail, and that's not the case.
Well, we'll have to do a whole thing on Blizzard one week. So.
Oh, God. I have a friend who worked at Blizzard. I could bring him on.
Are you enjoying their fiasco in California?
I am very into it, and I'm waiting to see what comes of it. Because I was a Blizzard fanboy for so many years, and then about 3 years ago, I quit, and now I'm kind of glad I did. So.
No, Vinny, it was not.
That was
EA
my big
game.
streamer. I was a Diablo 3 streamer. That was my main thing.
Gotcha.
Like 18 hours. If you go look at most of my VODs, they're still Diablo.
We had a kid in our Discord that everything was Diablo. It's like, why don't you guys stream Diablo? Why don't you? I go, because no one cares about Diablo.
Not anymore.
And then before that, like this goes back before Oni showed up. It was GTA 5. Every podcast was GTA 5. GTA 5. I'm like, funny guy, we're talking about the new Diablo coming out. Diablo 3 was coming out. That's how old it was.
Oh,
we're not talking about GTA and heists. Oh, the heist hasn't been out yet. Like no one gives a fuck about heist. It's like one of it, and then GTA like 10 years later is still relevant. I'm like, I don't understand it.
It is, yeah.
I don't.
Well, like, the role playing servers, I think, saved GTA.
I don't understand the appeal.
All my friends that stream, they're role playing. They're doing the role play thing. Everybody wants to be somebody. I don't understand it. I wouldn't do it, but it's entertaining to watch.
I don't understand. Another thing I don't understand is this is probably a subject for another time because we're about to wrap up. But wrap it up like a Trojan.
Right.
But the one thing I don't understand is this whole flavor of the month of battle royale games. And that's another thing that we could talk about next week.
Don't get me started.
I like team games, right? I don't like this whole genre of battle royale. It gives me such agita. It's not fun. It fucking stresses me out. And it's just like
I will not play it. Yeah.
One kill and you're out. I hate games like that. I want to go in, run and gun, teabag some motherfucker, and yell at them, and I can't even do that anymore. It's like, oh, I want to play Capture the Flag. Oh, no one plays that. Everyone's playing Battle Royale now.
Right.
Every fucking streamer plays Battle Royale, and the only thing.
That Vinny's right. That Vinny's right down.
spend 20 minutes collecting loot and then die in 5 seconds. Exactly.
Yeah, when I was a big streamer, our
Fucking
head
hate that
stream
shit.
guy was always playing PUBG, and I'm just like watching him collect loot, hide, collect loot, and then he dies. I'm like, what's fun about this? Like, what? I don't fucking understand it, but
Right.
each their own, I guess.
I have 2 friends that play it. Braided Bandit, as Oni knows, and I'll watch her because she's a friend of mine and she's fucking entertaining. It doesn't matter what she's playing. She's just entertaining. She's a friend. And then my other one is Lady Nuisance. And they're fucking good and they're positive streamers and it doesn't matter what they play. I will watch them just to give them support. I threw Braided Bandit $10 the other day. It's like, here, this will probably towards a new computer in a year that you're going to buy with double 3070s.
I support low streamers.
But go ahead, Oni. What were you saying?
She said, "Shut up, Joe." I mean, she did. Sorry.
No, everyone knows my real name's Joe anyway. It doesn't matter. Go ahead, Oni.
Oh, I said earlier already that I just don't have the temperament for that shit. I don't like to be competitive because I am a very, very, very sore loser.
I am too.
I know that. Oh no, I don't do that shit. I know better. I don't tempt fate like that. No. Aside from my poor computer would never be able to handle that. It's okay, buddy. No. I'm
putting Oni on the list of sending new computers to.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, please. I don't need one. I really just want to focus on finding a job, finding out where I'm going to live, get settled, and get that ship sailing because I don't want to keep moving with more shit. I have a storage unit in another state from where I was. I'm not moving that bitch.
How long ago did you graduate?
From March, but I didn't move out of that apartment until the end of June.
Okay.
So beginning of July is when I started living where I am now.
So you're a recent graduate.
Yeah, sure. It feels like so long ago. But
Well, it took me about a year and a half to get a teaching job. So.
Oh, I don't plan on teaching. I should probably be the last person to teach unless it's museums. Then I wouldn't mind doing museums, but I don't think I've got the temperament for teaching. I don't think.
Most people don't, especially online, because online teaching is a different piece. So.
It is. I've taught on campus before in 2 separate places, and it's a different thing.
I'm afraid I would actually hurt somebody. That's why I don't teach in class.
Nah, I'm fine like doing it either way. It's
I'd be
the,
kicking
it's the way
people
you
out
go
of my
about
class,
preparing
so.
is different, though. So
But I'd kick a lot of kids out of class. So
I'd be like, during
what are you doing on your cell phone? Are you talking to somebody? Yeah, like get the fuck out. But of course, the Academy of Art taught us, at least, to be so meticulous. And
yeah.
Even if you spelt your assignment name wrong, automatic F. It doesn't matter if it was perfect. You got to know, like.
Yeah, Oni, me and Soda went to the same grad school, like.
I didn't know that till like last week either.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
We have masters from the same school.
Yeah, I was like, hey, motherfucker, graduated from the same way.
I'm looking at my degree right now.
Whereas you and Keith went to the same undergrad, you and Soda went to the same grad.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even know either.
Our editor, my friend, and I went to the same undergrad. So
we have different majors, of course. I'm graphic design, and he's.
And I, of course, took the most expensive one. So.
Oh, mine wasn't cheap. I'll be paying mine till I die. So.
I just paid off my. I paid off my private loan last year. I wrote a check for $11,000 and paid off my private loan.
I can't wait. I got about $60,000 left, I think.
Yeah, I have more than that on my other loans. But if you want to donate to us, someone wants to donate over $100,000,
do like $979 so I don't have to wear a dress.
I was gonna actually, the next thing I'm gonna buy is Oni's gonna like this, is a Jeep Wrangler 4xe Rubicon. $62,000.
And to buy?
Don't buy a new one, because remember, if Biden passes this new law, he's going to track everywhere you go, and you're paying taxes on your mileage.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I have a
Yeah.
If it's
Get you a
hybrid,
used one. Get you a used one.
Get you an old Jeep. Yeah, 90s.
Not that old.
I'll get a Tesla.
Hey, whoa. Hey, you
Hey,
take
I
that
wanna-
back.
You got a Jeep Grand Cherokee, right?
No, my mom has a Jeep Grand Cherokee. My sister and I have Jeep Cherokee Sports. Hers is from 93. Mine's from 96.
I graduated in
Mine has a
Oh my God.
Mine has a 3-inch lift kit with truck-sized tires. They already were there. I just keep it up, sort of, kind of. And my dad has the YJ Jeep Wrangler. The rectangle headlights, the soft top Sahara Edition, green with the tan top. It was,
Well, see,
that's a cool Jeep.
the car I just donated to charity last year was actually an extra in Fast and Furious.
My
So
Jeep's
that tells
horn
you
doesn't work, Vinny.
My kind of car.
I pulled the plug out of it.
But now I want a simple car. I don't want one that anybody looks at me while I'm driving.
I'm
My
gonna
anxiety.
get the Tesla truck and paint it like a warthog from Halo and put a
That would be
turret on the
fucking
fucking
sweet.
top. And
I'm
then
not a
put
Halo
like
fan,
I
by
would-
the way. So
what's that?
I'm not a Halo fan.
I
Oh,
would paint
I'm
it with
a
the face of
Warthog
the A10
fan.
Warthog.
Then
What's
he's gonna
that?
go ape shit on me.
Oh yeah, we're gonna put Oni on a green screen and have her fly an A10 Warthog. But what we're gonna do is that she's gonna have the 3D print. We're gonna have a 3D printed helmet, but you can only see like the top of her head on the top because her console's gonna be really low. It'll be awesome, and
Hey,
she's gonna be
that'll be easy to
flying
do.
over Afghanistan, just like mowing people down.
I gotta tell Vinny to play a real game.
Oh god,
Fuck the
I ended up
Italian.
on a actually when I was
we
streaming.
should just
some
buy her
guy,
an A10 Warthog.
some
and
guy
just-
trolled me one day and came in and was like, "Why don't you play a real game? So let's play Diablo." And I went off on this dude, and I didn't know he was fucking with me. He put me on his YouTube video. Somebody's like,
Oh,
"Hey,
no.
look, yeah." He's like, "Here, this dude was just trolling you." I was like,
Oh,
"Fuck me!"
no.
Like,
I used to do that in the beginning. We had a thing at the beginning of Laggin Out's podcast where we'd have the camper of the week. So what I would do is I would screen capture a guy camping on his kill cam, and I go,
hey, I got
look,
one on my bod you can use.
look at this bitch. I go, look at this bitch right here, hiding like a pussy behind like a sentry gun. Look at this little
See,
bitch
that's me.
in a choke
That's me.
point. And the guy fucking found it, and he found it. He's like, "Oh fuck you, chieftain." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Fuck you for camping, bitch." Well,
See, back then you could say a lot more, dude.
right.
Like, why don't you play a real game? And be like, what, like your
Well,
mom?
yeah,
You know,
'cause-
something like that.
Big Brother was Big Brother wasn't up your ass like he is now, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
my Dreams were pretty crazy. Of course,
You
half
know-
the shit now I might get fired for saying, so I got to be more careful when I do talk on stream.
mind your P's
Social
and
media,
Q's.
yeah. I used to post all the time on Facebook. Now I don't, because I don't want them to go back 10 years. Like, oh, you said this 10 years ago. We can't give you your full time. You know, like,
Right. Definitely. So, we're gonna wrap this up. It's getting kind of late. Well, it's probably
All right.
early for Soda because he doesn't go to bed till 5 in the morning.
yeah, I won't be in bed for yeah. I get off the
But-
computer at 4 a.m. That's my time I get off the computer. And then I watch TV for 2 hours, and then I go to bed. So that's my schedule. I get up at 2 in the afternoon. That's it.
We're gonna wrap this up. Our podcasts aren't really this long, so but for a stream, not too bad for us today. Thank you everybody for showing up. And any parting thoughts from Oni? Any parting thoughts from you? Anything that's coming up for Lagging Out that you want people to know?
Yes. Look out in the next couple of weeks, maybe the next couple of months, depends. Tri-Bar Awards. It's Tri-Bar Award season, folks.
Tri-Bar Award
Prepare
System.
yourselves.
6.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. So
6.
I'm gonna be in there
categories.
again, and I think we all know some of the games on that fucking list.
Oh, we know we're going to be releasing 6 separate but awesome videos on the Tri-Bar Awards. Who are going to be the winners? Who are going to be the losers? You're going to find out pretty soon. Soda, do you have anything you want to promote?
I just want to thank you for having me, and hopefully we do this more. I actually enjoyed it. And you got a different genre player here too, because you seem to have your own genre, and I have my own.
That's right. We have our own generis.
So yeah, I hope we do this again. I could do it every night, actually. I mean,
Awesome. Well, I can't do it every night, but we'll try to.
I know.
We'll do this.
Well, not every night. Not Mondays and Tuesdays. Sorry, I do.
Not Mondays and Tuesdays. All right. So on behalf, I'm going to do the ending just like we do on YouTube. On behalf of Blacklight Oni and Soda, this is Chieftain. Signing off and lagging out.
When I get online, I'm feeling like something's not right. Cause the bullets curve like some people